We have fractions multiplied by exponents with parentheses, then divide by another parenthesis. Inside there is a fraction, then the parenthesis with power of 2. So basically what we are dealing with, this group has to be simplified first. The whole divisor, the divisor is divided by this division sign, and the other divisor has got two parentheses over here, one big one. Inside the big one there is a fraction involved and the smaller one with, so we will go by the PEMDAS or BEDMAS. So first of all, we see that the only thing we require to do is taking care of the parentheses first. So copy the 25/9, write the parentheses with the power of 2. Inside we have a 2 to the power of 2, and by the way, we are not allowed to break it down like this. We can't just write 2 to the power of 4 or 5 to the power of 2. That is not allowed by the law. So we have to simplify the inside of the parenthesis value, which is 2 to the power of 2. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 5. Then is divided by next big parenthesis inside, so it's a second bracket, inside is a parenthesis, so write the big one. It doesn't have exponent. Copy the 5/18, and it gets multiplied with this parenthesis to the power of 2, and inside it is a 2 to the power of 2. 2 times 2 is a 4, plus the 5. Okay, next step. So we come to the left side, is 25/9, which is 25 divided by 9. The moment we simplify this value, is going to be a 9 to the power of 2. 5 plus 4 is 9. Divided by, go to the next block. The bigger one is 5/18. Inside we just simplify the 4 plus 5, put a 9 there. Now the next step, we are going to finally simplify the parentheses on the left side. So 25/9, and we put a multiplication sign because we are simplifying this value, so the value has to be multiplied with the fraction. That's the reason. Put a multiplication sign. Simplified value of 9 to the power of 2 is 81. Divided by, we have two parentheses, so write the bigger one. Inside is 18 divided by, 5 divided by 18, and the simplified value is 81. Now after that we have to go for simplification. Now the reason for this, we have a second parenthesis. We can't take two parentheses out in one go, because if I take this out, it's going to create a confusion, and the confusion is going to arrive. Do I go from left to right, or do I do the division first or the multiplication first? This piece of parenthesis is telling us whatever the value inside, it has to be simplified. The moment I take this parenthesis out, then I divide that value from 81. So the next copy. So over here we have some simplification work. I can divide this 81 by the 9. The answer is 9 times 9, so 81 divided by 9 is a 9. And I can divide this and divide it. But before we do the division, we have to write it in a simplified form, just to show the process neat and clean. This is a whole number and that's a whole number. So what we do is we write it 81 whole number, convert it into a fraction, which is 81 divided by 1. That 81 is a whole number divided by 1, so it's very easy to show. Now that was our plan. Divide the top 81 by the 9. Answer is 9. Over here we have 18 and 81. So what we use, choose a number, we can divide the top and bottom by the same number. So divide the 18 by the 9, it's 2. Divide this 81 by the 9, and it's a 9. So it's going to be top times the top divided by the bottom times the bottom, and the top times the top divided by the bottom. This value on the right side hasn't been simplified yet, so we have to keep the parentheses on the right hand side. So over here is 25 times 9. You can use a calculator, or 25 times 10 is 250. Subtract 125 is 225. divided by, I have to write the parentheses if I don't simplify the value, but when the value is simplified, it's going to be 45, 9 times 5, 45 divided by 2. So we just save one step. It's simplified, take the parentheses out, now it's simple. 225 divided by a fraction. And according to the fraction we have learned is multiply, switch the sign to multiplication, and what you do is flip the fraction, flip the numerator and denominator. So division sign is changed to multiplication. 45 divided by 2 comes to 2 over 45. You can do the division in one go, or we can do it in two goes, just to be clear that we are okay. 25 on the top, 45 ends up with 5, so both are definitely divisible by 5. If I divide the 225 by the 5, the answer is going to be a 45. Divide the 45 by 5, it is going to be a 9. And finally 45 divided by 9, the answer is 5. So we know the answer is 5. But if we just go a little bit one step further, the 225 divided by the 45, so 45 times 5, 5 40s makes 200, 5 5s makes 225. So finally it's going to end up with 5 times 2. 5 times the 2, and the answer is 5 times 2. Obviously the answer is simple, the answer is 10. So it's done. It took a little bit long time. Now we have another strategy that will be the fastest strategy to finish it faster. Now let's rewrite the math one more time. This is the one. The first catch. We have a parenthesis to the power of 2, but just look at the value. We have simplified the value in the beginning, the first step. And they get cancelled with each other. Now, when we see a same value, power of 2, same value on the other side, it has to be divided power of 2. Let's just write, keep the value as is and proceed. Let's try the one. So what it tells us is 25 times the parenthesis divided by 2. So we are just playing it like a block. This whole thing is divided by 1, this whole thing is divided by 1. So what we do, just rewrite it in an organized way. 9 is on the bottom, 9 times 1, and on the top is 25 times the value of the parenthesis to the power of 2, but not simplified. Let's just copy the value as is. Divided by, write the big parenthesis, reorganize the value. There is a 1 on the bottom, so it's going to be 18 times 1, 18 on the bottom. On the top is going to be 5 times the value of the parenthesis. So 5 multiplies by the value of the parenthesis. This time not simplifying the value, keep it as is. Now the value on the left side has to be divided by the entire value on the right side. Without simplification, if we just reorganize it, so what we do is simple. We just take this division sign, switch this to multiplication, and flip the value on the divisor. So the left side is just copy the 25 times this value. I can use the multiplication sign, or I can keep it or put the 25, doesn't matter, because we are not simplifying on this stage. It's the same thing, it multiplies. Switch it to multiplication sign, then take the parentheses out, switch the value, switch the denominator and the numerator, and it's 5 times this value. Without simplification, is easily can be seen. A value on the top, 2 square plus 5, everything to the power of 2. This is also same. Same value divided by same value, they get cancelled, or it's 1. The 18 on the top, I can divide it by the 9 on the bottom. Definitely we can do that. The 25 on the top, I can divide it by this 5. So the top value is 5 times 1 times 2, which is simply 5 times 2. And the bottom value is, there is nothing. And if we don't need to write ones. 1 times 1 times is 1. So when there is a 1 in the denominator, we just don't need to write anything. It will be just 5 times the 2. and the answer is simple 10. Obviously done in a very fast manner. And if you just clean this page, and I just keep the last piece of the calculations. With the lecture, it took some time. Without this lecture or without explanation, it can be done under 20 seconds. So strategy makes it faster. Thank you for watching.